Did it work? Hey. So hi everybody. Today's Tuesday, April, was it the 16th, 7 p.m. Central Time. This is day 2 of the 4-day nighttime chatbot challenge where we're building a home services house painting bot for the house for the home services. This is not for an agency selling the services. This is actually for the house painter. Okay. We have a demo site on the left. You could see it on the right. You could see it's Picasso Paints. On the left, as usual, we have the notes. Okay, that I'll again paste into this chat if you weren't here yesterday. This is also shared in the school group. Okay, so I'll share this real quick with you all so you can follow along. Okay, so in the chat in this thing here, I'm pasting in the workflow. This will be available in the classroom tab in the school group. Okay, cool. Yeah, there it is at the top. Okay, cool. So let's get started. So we have our Picasso Paints or PicassoPaints.net painter website. It's a very simple site. This is just a page with an offer, right? So if you're redoing this for a different niche, electrician, it could be 10% off 110 to 240 volt upgrade for your electric car. It could be any offer you want to come up with, right? The goal is to get their name, address, or sorry, their name, email address, and phone number to go into CloseBot. So we're gonna have 2 bots going. We have a bot to handle this offer. Okay. We also have a live chat bot here, which is like a fax bot, frequently asked questions bot. But as I mentioned yesterday, if you didn't watch yesterday, we talked about the live chat widget in Go High Level and some of the limitations that it does have, which exist in terms of like keeping the conversation in memory. It's just different than like Facebook Messenger, if that's what you're expecting. So be aware of that, but it does work pretty good. Okay. So we'll test this in a bit. We'll keep playing with this, but we know this works. We also have the 2 bots, which are here. This is the live chat bot. This is the offer bot. Loading. Okay. And then we have our custom field that we were doing yesterday when we stopped. I'll talk about that in a second. Let's get back to our flow chart. Okay. So we have 2 bots. We have our offer bot, as I mentioned. Here's our flow here. Is the offer good? This offer, right? And we're going to ask them that if they like the offer, if they want to move forward. So that's what we're working on here. Here's the morning afternoon question, which we're working on right now, so that we can do dynamic booking based off of, this is going to be a simple estimator. This is going to do an estimator. And all it's going to do is it's going to, you're just going to ask a couple questions, and based on the answer to the question, it's going to give an estimate. It's going to ask this question morning, you'll see. Hold on, let me just do this drawing real quick. I'll explain what's about to happen. Okay. Yeah. Okay. So what's going to happen is that they're going to say, they're going to fill out this offer. We're going to hit them up with the bot via email. Okay. If they don't like the offer, we're going to try to sweeten the deal. And then once they like the offer, we're going to ask them if they prefer a morning or afternoon appointment. Obviously, this would be more complex if you were a painter. You can get square footage. You could get whether it's interior, exterior, whether they're going to need to get, onto the, if it's a tall building and you need ladders and stuff. I've done bots where you can ask all those questions. We don't have time to do that, but we do have time to make a simple bot. So what it's going to do is it's going to ask whether you want a morning or afternoon appointment, and then it's going to ask a couple other questions like, we'll do this, I guess. It's going to say square foot. What's the square foot being painted? And that's all it's going to ask. These 2 questions. What's the square foot being painted? Okay. And then it's going to give them an estimate, and the estimate's going to tell them how much it's going to cost. Okay. And then it's going to do a dynamic booking based on whether or not they chose a morning or afternoon appointment. Okay. So that's what we're going to build. Are there any questions? I can see everyone in this group. Most people were here yesterday. If you haven't been here yesterday, the video's up on on school. Okay. So let's keep going. So let's build this bot. Let's build the bot. All right, cool. So I'll move this over here. Y'all can see it. I'll move this over here. Y'all can see it, but I do need to make this window a little shorter. And we'll get back to this fax bot in a second. Let's finish up this offer bot because it's front and center, and people are going to, start testing this probably on Picasso Paint. So we need to do a few things. So what do we need to do to continue making this bot? Well, we need to create the calendars. So we know we're going to have a general booking calendar for this little live chat widget here where anyone can come in and ask any question they want. You could put this live chat widget anywhere, right? So if this is one page in a painter's website, because this is the offer page, right? This might not be their homepage. This is all I'm showing the example for this one thing here. You could put this chat widget anywhere. So that's cool, right? You'll be able to use this everywhere, which is why it's a general fax booking widget. So we're going to make a calendar for that. And then we talked about how we're going to have them choose morning or afternoon. And then, so we're going to, schedule on a morning or afternoon calendar. So we need to make those two calendars. We need to make the estimate prompt, and then we need to test. Okay, so we'll do that. Okay, any questions? I'm going to go quick. All right, here we go. Let's close this down. Let's make the calendars. Y'all know how to make calendars. This is not a go high level tutorial, so I'm just going to go pretty quick. We have our general booking calendar. Let's just make the 2 more calendars. All I'm going to do is just duplicate this. Actually, no, I'm not. Yeah, I will. No, I won't. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do create calendar. I'm going to do a simple calendar. Okay, so now watch the morning job and afternoon job. So we're going to call this morning calendar. And let's say that we book 4 hours, right? Because it's, we give them the whole morning or we give them the afternoon. Again, you could do an estimate that gives you hours, and then you can use a ChatGPT step in the GHL workflow to get the hours from the estimate, and then put that in a custom variable. That's advanced. I'm not doing that here. I am doing it elsewhere, though. So what I'm showing you now is like the basics. You just give it a random name. It doesn't really matter. These are all taken anyways, so just got to be something random. You don't need to remember it. So this is going to be 4 hours, Monday through Friday, from 8 until 12, right? This is only 4 hours. And it's in the morning. Wait, no, 8 to 12 p.m. That's right. This is only for the morning, so they can't book past 12 p.m., right? And it's a 4-hour calendar. And then we're going to hit confirm. Okay. I'm going to close this. I'm going to duplicate that one, because it's got some of the settings already here, so it's easier to duplicate. I'll say afternoon calendar. Let's change this number here. There was something random. Availability. Instead of from 8 to 12, this is going to be from 1 p.m. to 5 p.m. There we go. To 5 p.m. And then I want to copy this to all the rest. Copy to all. Okay. But we're going to turn Sunday off. So this is only going to book from 1 to 5, right? It's the afternoon calendar. 4-hour duration. You don't have to worry about all this stuff. I'm going to hit save. I'm not going to connect it to a calendar. This is not a go high level tutorial, like I said, but you would, right? You connect this to the painter's calendar for booking. All right, so let's close this. Now we have our calendars. Awesome. All right, so while we're here, to make this easy, I know that I'm going to need, whenever you use calendars in CloseBot, in order to do it, you need some, well, they just came out with a new release last week, so you don't actually need these permalinks, which is here. These last digits, this is after the trailing slash, after booking and permanent link. If you do something advanced with CloseBot, you need to know how to grab this. So I'm going to grab this. I'm going to copy it. This is for the afternoon calendar. Let's call this calendar. Just so I can remember, I'm going to put this here. I'm going to get the one for the morning. Oh, that was morning. Sorry. No, it's not. This is, okay, so this is morning. I'm going to copy this. I'm going to put under morning calendar. Let me just retitle that. I like to name everything properly everywhere. It helps for documentation. Okay, then I need to get the general booking permanent link. And I'm going to show you the new way in CloseBot that just came out last week, but this is a more powerful way. Share. Grab this digits for the permanent link, copy. And we don't have to do this again, because that is a really annoying thing about making bots. Let's say you are an agency and you're building bots. Your client has 10 calendars for 10 different, verticals in their business. That's so many calendars to keep track of. So this quickly gets busy, but this is like VA stuff too, if you are an agency. Cool. All right. So we have our 3 calendars. Our time is correct. We have our general 15-minute booking calendar. Cool. Let's go. So now we have our 3 calendars. That was really easy. So now let's keep going with this bot. So we have our calendars for the booking. So offer good, sweeten the deal. All right. So let's get this bot going here. So here's our offer bot. So let's look at, again, I'll go through this real quick. You know, we called it Picasso. Here's the settings I have here. You can match your CloseBot to look like this. We've integrated it. Here's my OpenAI key. It's connected to this sub account and go high level called Picasso Paints, right? Just like you took it up to your sub account. I'm not going to worry about any of these auto tagging things. If you've never seen this yet, the bot will put tags on the contact when these things happen, but nothing doesn't do anything. It's just for you to use or be notified of if you want to do something with it. Okay, so let's look at our main prompting for the offer bot. And it says, at lead name is coming here from a 50% off offer for our complete house painting packages. I'm sorry, complete house painting package from the Picasso Paints website. So let's do something. Let's make this better. So I want to create offer variable or offer custom field. Actually, I'm going to do custom variable. Wow, this is going to be sweet. Right. Okay, sorry. All right, cool. So now let's create a custom offer variable. So what I want to do is, let's say that I want to reach, this is just a general offer bot. Let's say that the painter changes the offer. This whole thing here, right? This whole thing is the name of the offer. So here's the price, and here's the name of the offer, the complete house painting package, right? So let's do something. Let's make this a little more useful for the painter so it's not hard coded. So I'm going to make 2 different custom variables. I'm going to do, let's do that. So over here, I'll copy this over here. I'm going to go to custom values, not custom fields this time. Let me get rid of these. We don't need these in this workflow. Okay. With this one. And then, so we got to do this in 2 places. This is going to be awesome. And this is also something, I'm going to show you something new to CloseBot within the last couple of weeks, a new feature, which is I can take custom variables directly from CloseBot without having to pass them through a webhook, which is more complicated. So if you had to worry about doing that before, you don't have to worry about it now. If you don't understand what I'm saying, don't worry about it because you don't have to do it anymore. Lucky you. All right, cool. Let's do it. Add new custom value. So let's call this offer name. And the value is 50% off. And this is going to be the whole. No, I'll keep that in. I'll just variabilize complete house painting package. Okay, so I'm going to paste that in there like that. I'm not going to use a folder because I'm only going to make a couple of custom variables for y'all. All right, offer name. Create that. Now, it has this value in it because I set it in here. When I share this snapshot with you, it's going to be blank. Okay, so just know that. You're going to have to put your own offer name in there. It's going to look like this. You'll see. But it makes it cooler and more powerful because you don't actually have to open up the website editor theoretically to change what it's offering. So watch this. So I'm going to make one more. We'll call it offer value. We'll do 15% off. So the value of this variable named offer value is 15% off. So now we have these keys that we can copy. These are our custom variable keys, right? So this is how we get our custom variables into CloseBot and into the web editor. So all I'm going to do is I'm going to copy offer name. You can just click this icon here. I'm going to go to the website editor, which is here. And right here, instead it's complete house painting package. So I'm just going to paste that here. And you're going to see this wacky looking, double mustaches or brackets, whatever you want to call them, and then exclamation point, but it'll replace that with this variable. Okay, let's do the same thing with the offer value. So I'm going to copy that. and paste that in there. So looks ugly, but it's going to look great when we do it. Save. Now, let's continue on tweaking this website and get it dialed in for the painter because we didn't do anything with this yet yesterday at all. We just got this all set up. We're gonna get pretty far today. So I feel confident this will be cool. All right, so this right now, the way it works, this text in here says, hey, city area market name. So if you want to have a custom variable for like, hey, Chicago, hey, Highland Park, hey, Detroit, hey, this city, that city, you can make a custom value. So I'm going to do that. Why not? And you can replace this or take it out or rewrite this copy however you want when you get the snapshot in 2 days. So I can make a new custom value. We'll call it the area or market. And we'll do Chicagoland because that's kind of where I am. Okay, and then there's another custom variable right in this copy from just a good funnel. So I'm going to use what they're doing. So watch. So here's the custom value for get X amount off. So I need to put in my custom value because I redid it, which is here. So I'm going to copy this. This is offer value. So get offer value off. Wait, that was wrong. Oh, I see. I want, the value. This one here, copy. Paste. And then here, our highest rated, this is the offer name. Okay. I'm going to copy that and just replace this custom value in case it's wrong. It'll be right for y'all. Okay, cool. There's a lot of exclamation points here. We only have, okay, so now here's a little bit. So I don't know if I love this, but it's okay. So underneath here, there's a risk, not a risk reversal, there's a scarcity in here, which is good if you don't know anything about marketing. This copy has built in, we only have 37 to 50 discount vouchers left. So claim yours today. That's called scarcity. And that's good to do because people don't like things being scarce. Works every time. It's a tried and true marketing technique. So I'll keep that in there just for fun. Okay. And then let's keep going on here. We do want to tweak this. This is obviously a little bit not what I want. So there's this here. Low financing rate available. I don't know if this is accurate or not from painters, house painters, but I know lots of home services offer financing. So I'm going to keep that there. Name, email, phone. Great. Good to go. Okay. So down here, we have some sort of a review. This is just a picture. Okay. So actually, it's not a picture. There's a picture here. And then there's some text here. So I can change this if I want. So let's change your name. Although I'm sure that's a fake name. But everyone's going to have this template, so I'm going to change it. I'll change it to Anne. That's my wife's name. We'll say Anne Jones is ridiculous. What's the name of someone that sounds realistic? Can I use someone's name from in here? No, I'm not going to do that. Anne Macintosh. I'm on a Macintosh. There we go. All right. Excellent service at a reasonable rate, blah, blah, blah. That works great. So down here, there's a map of New York, and I'm saying I'm in the Chicagoland area. So just know that the map here is hard-coded, and the city name is not here up in this little area market, or I'm sorry, in this variable here, which I got to replace. Yeah, in this variable up here, you'll see when I run it. So we'll fix that in a second. So down here, see, this is tied in with this area that you type in here. So since I put in Chicagoland as this custom variable, you can see that it's actually kind of all over this page, serving Chicagoland for over 20 years. That's fine. So we just got to make this be Chicagoland. So all I'm going to do is I'm just going to go to Google Maps, and I'll do Chicago. And you just type in whatever city you're trying to hit, right? And I'm going to zoom in. I'm going to zoom out because it's Chicagoland. Well, that's way bigger than Chicagoland. So I'll go like there. I'll do like this. That's fine. Obviously not the lake. Okay, cool. So all I'm going to do is I'm going to save this picture real quick. Well, I open it in preview because I'm on a Mac, and I'm going to save it. I'm going to export it as a PNG. Call it map. Call it whatever. Doesn't matter. Okay, so in let me import it into here. So it's going to bring up the media library. I'm going to do upload file. 1 second. Don't know what's on my desktop. There it is. Boom. Okay, that was easy. That uploaded. Just going to put it in here. Kind of big, but whatever. Actually, it's too big. But whatever. You'll fix it on your own thing. Down here, there's a copyright. I don't have a privacy policy. I don't have a terms and conditions. I don't have any of this stuff. And that's actually not the best thing to do. So let's tweak this form a bit. I'm going to take a note about that. We're going to make sure our form is compliant. And that means there is an opt-in checkbox. And we can do that really easily. I'm going to save this. We can do this really easily by going to the form. And this isn't a go high level tutorial, like I said, but I'm going to do it. We're going to go to the form. Only one. I'm going to open up the lead gen form. I'm going to go over and add in terms and and once we do this, so this will take us a second to do this. Actually, we're going to need to make a new page, but it's okay. So in order to do this form, and this is how you make, like, you can't really have a website like this without having an opt-in checkbox, because if you start contacting them, that's considered spam. You know, that's illegal. So we need to make this legal. So that's what I'm doing right now. Okay. And this goes for any form, especially if you're going to be text messaging them. That's much stricter. In fact, we're not going to be text messaging them. I'm only going to be emailing them, but we want to make sure that we're future proof. Okay. So that means that in order to use this, I need to make sure that there is a terms and conditions. So that means I need to make a new page that means I need to make a new page for the terms and conditions. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to back to my I'm going to make a copy. I'm going to duplicate this page because I want to go to my website. I want to keep this open. So I'm going to go to my website editor. We're going to duplicate the page that we have here. I'll save this form real quick, but I still need to edit it. Okay, so I'm going to go to the website. Click on that. Now, I don't want anything too complicated at all for this terms and conditions. And I already know that I have a pretty good terms and conditions in another website that I have. So let me grab that and copy it and put it in here. And it makes it much easier. So I'm going to go to the last challenge that I did, which was for Agent Chatter, which was awesome. It's in the school group. It's a 30-day challenge. And I'm going to open up this here, this one pager. And I already know that I have terms and privacy. So I may as well copy this into my other into this other site. So here's what I'm going to do. It's going to duplicate this website. I'm going to share it with I'm just going to copy this link. And if you do the Agent Chatter thing or go look at the school group, this snapshot's in there. You guys can grab it yourself. So I'm going to load this up into Picasso Paints. I'm going to add this funnel to Picasso Paints. Okay, cool. All right. So to give this a second, so I'm going to go to Picasso Paints. I'm going to add a new step. And I'm going to call it terms. And we'll do the path real simple. I like to do that as a path for terms usually. Create the step. I'm going to use existing because I already have a page that I like. So I'm going to use from the one pager. I'm just going to grab the terms page, and this will be half written for us. I'm going to import that. I'm going to do it again for privacy policy. May as well have that in there. Protect us. Protect ourselves. CYA, as they say, cover your butt. All right, cool. So now let's add another step. We'll call this privacy policy. Path privacy. Create funnel step. And you can use this again. And what's nice about having these in your funnel is that a lot of sites request this, what's your terms of service or what's your privacy policy page. And if you have them, you have them. And you can use this in your site too. You can copy this text. So let's really quickly go to terms. Here's how I edit it. All I got to do, and when I share the snapshot, this will be edited. It'll be edited better. So there's a broken image here. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to replace it with Picasso Paint's logo. So you'd put your logo here, right? Boom, logo there. So terms of service. So here's what's nice about this. So this whole thing, there's no name in there whatsoever. But what is it? Like there's no company name in here. But there is this. There's this custom value. So all I need to do is make a custom value in CloseBot. In Go High Level called company name. And the value for this one is Picasso Paint. So your company name, your client's company name goes there. Okay. Going to double check to make sure that this custom variable name is correct. I'm just going to replace this real quick. And the way that this copy works, this text here, is that it just only says the name of the company once, and then it goes by we or company for the rest of the document. So that's an easy way to not have to change too much. Okay, cool. Oh yeah, so let me just double check on this here. So the terms of service, oh yeah, that's cool. So it's already got your name, the company name, and up in the tab on the browser at the top, the title. So the description, there's nothing in the description. You can fill that out yourself. No meta tags. No social image. So you all can edit that yourself. Let me save that. I'll publish that, and let's do the other one really quickly. Okay. Then we'll all have it. I'll just do privacy policy. I think this is a little more robust. I'm going to use existing from the funnel one-pager copy that I put in there. I'm going to grab privacy, do import. I know I need to do two things. I need to change the logo and some text here. No big deal. I edit. And let's see. So look, company value name. So we already did it. It already says Picasso Paints. So you don't have to do that. It's already in here everywhere. Right? So all you have to do is edit it here once, and this is all up to date with your business. Okay, so down here at the bottom, these two pages have footers on them. So let's add a footer. Right now, the footer for this page here just says copyright 2024. If let's say that you're doing this page, let's say that you're advertising this page on Facebook. You do have to have a privacy policy in terms of service. So that's another good reason why we did that. And we also need to add some other text so that Facebook sees that, we're not promoting Facebook in any way. So we're going to do that as well, especially for this offer page, because this is something you would advertise too. Okay. So watch. So support link. So there's a couple other variables in here that I need to tweak. So I need a new custom value, which is called support. And I already know what that is. So the support link is an email address. Now, Picasso Paints doesn't have an email address on it. Obviously, most clients or you will have an email address for support. Put that here. But I do have an email address for support at Rosenfeld Marketing. Is my agency name.
How to register. And I was wondering about the annual car show in Montesano.
All right, thank you. All right, cool. So support link, and then the custom value will be this here. So I know what it's going to say. Okay, cool. So now notice there's a footer here. There's also copyright year. Let's finalize this here. So there's one more variable to put in. Copyright year. This is so you don't ever have to deal with editing the footer in the web editor. Copyright year, and you could use this for any website you have from now on. I mean, this technique works great. 2024. Okay, so there's copyright year, company name, all rights reserved. So now all we need to do is tweak these links because they're not going to the right place, but maybe they are. Let's look at the link here. So this is going, so we just got to go to privacy, right? We called it privacy. So we know that. We know that terms is just terms. So that's going to go there nicely. And then home is domain short. Okay, so watch. So what we're going to do is, there's another cool custom variable. So I'm going to make a new custom value called domain short name. Actually, yeah. So just going to be Picasso paints.net, meaning it's short. It's a short name because I don't have HTTPS. Okay. And you'll see this when you see what it's doing. What's nice about doing custom variables and tweaking your output like this is it makes it harder for your clients to duplicate it themselves or not use your systems. So, and it's also good for scaling. If you have multiple painters, this would be an easy way to onboard a bunch of them, right? Okay, cool.
Hey,
so now I
Josh,
just got to
can I
get.
ask a quick question?
Who is that? Yes.
David. These variables that you're creating, just zooming out,
Oh,
these are
cousin
variables
David.
that the
Hey, dude.
account.
My
These are
cousin,
variables
ladies
at
and
the.
gentlemen. What's that, dude?
These are variables at the account level, like at you as a
Yeah,
business
so in
owner's
Go High
level.
Level, so if you don't know Go High Level, every sub account has custom variable fields, which are like you'd expect, like pull down menus and all sorts of different things you'd put in a form, and values, which is just a value. So you could use them both all throughout Go High Level as a custom value or custom field. They work the same way with this nomenclature. And then, so when I put it into the website in Go High Level in the builder, it's just going to grab this value. If it was a field, it would grab the value of the field. Okay.
Got it. Thank you.
You're welcome. Okay, cool. So let's make sure that this is the right variable name because I did update this slightly. Let me just paste this in here. Okay, cool. Now, save that. Save that. Let's tweak this here. Privacy policy. Cool, cool, cool. Custom values description. I'll get rid of this. You guys can put in your own thing. So fill that out if you want. Okay, cool. So now I know that I'm going to need to copy this stuff down here to put it in the next or the other page. I'm just going to copy this whole chunk here before I save it and publish it. And then I'm going to bring up the terms and just edit the bottom real quick. So now when I bring up terms, I'll just go to the bottom. Hopefully this will paste just right in. Oh yeah, hold on. There we go. It is in there. So what happened is it's not bolded. So when I bold it, that's because the bold text is white. The color for this text in here, I just didn't change it to white. The non-bolded, so that's why I did that. Watch. So see how this is non-bolded here? And it's thin and this is bold and they're both white now. It's because I'm setting the color for just this element. Let me bold this too. I just didn't see that. Okay, cool. So now that should be good to go. Publish that. So now we're going to go back to the main page for the painter. And I'm just going to link. I'm sorry, I want to go back to the form. So remember this form we started with? And we did all this so I can have a link here. Right. So I'm just going to click on this link here and I'm just going to go Picasso paints.com/terms. Now we're legal with Eagle. Cool. All right, great.
Hey, Josh, sorry, quick follow-up. So why are we using variables for something like company name and not just hard coding it if this is just...
You can hard code if you want. I'm just showing some advanced techniques. A lot of these people on the call are in my other challenge, so I know they're kind of advanced with CloseBot. So the purpose of these live builds is it's an advanced build. So I'm doing advanced techniques. So no, guys, you do not have to use custom variables if you don't want to. You can hard code this. You can hard code.
It just made me think that like you could use that terms and conditions with a bunch of different businesses, but then I don't think that's actually how it's structured in high level at this because these are variables at the sub account level, right?
They are, except you can make snapshots of this sub account. So I can make a snapshot of Picasso Paints and call it David Paints,
Okay.
and then give them the custom variables and so on and so on. Okay.
Got it.
Yeah,
That
it's
makes
all about
sense.
making snapshots. So when I'm done, I'm going to make a snapshot of this whole thing and go high level, all of it, every single thing, and literally export the entire thing. You'll import it, and you will be able to load up a sub account with all of this already in there, everything, the workflows, custom fields, the website, the graphics, everything. That's the power of Go High Level, is being able to duplicate successful snapshots of a workspace, essentially, and just give it to another client, give it to another client, or for yourself. I mean, it's very powerful. Okay?
Yep.
Got it. Cool. All right. So let's keep going. So we have our custom values. We haven't even tested this thing. Let's test this thing. So if I go to Picasso Paints and hit refresh, you can't even tell that it's different, but it is. This is our custom variables working. So the text is black. We need to change that to white. Annie McIntosh. Boom, boom, boom. So now we just got to add a footer down here to match. We've got everything here. So let's do that really quickly. We got to change this text to white. So text here, white. The blue text here, the link text, I'll make that like, I don't know, it should be yellow, I guess. Yeah, perfect. Now I save that. And then I want to go to here. I think I might even have it in my cache. So if I do paste, nope. Yeah, it worked. So I'll do paste. I don't think these are linked though. They're not linked. Okay, no problem. So I'm just going to link this. It's privacy. It's a shortcut. You have to type in HTTP. I'll do terms. Boom. Wait, I think it's on 2 lines. No, terms. Boom. Terms. Save. And then this is obviously too big, so let's tweak this real quick. Let's make this home. No, it is on home. It doesn't need to go anywhere. So let's just tweak this text real quick. We'll do bold. We'll make it 18 size, and we'll make the link text color yellow or something. There we go. Let's make all the text yellow. You can't really see it, and it goes with the website, right? Let's see. Bold, whatever. Yeah, yellow's fine. It's fine. Okay, cool. I'm going to save this. And I also want to add something for Facebook. Let me just grab it from another website real quick, or another thing I have here. So if I go to, so here's an example of another, sub account with its own site in there. I want to go to my agency. Here we go. My chatbot agency. Is it this one? Yep. Yep. Okay, so I just want to grab this copy here because Facebook loves it when you have this copy on here if you're advertising and sending someone from the ad to the page. So anything you're doing, Yoga Studio, whatever it is, especially if you're going to say someone's going to make money, but I do want to say just this little part, not this whole thing, because I'm not saying it's not a money-making venture, but if it was, you want to have all the rest. So I was going to copy this real quick. And I'll go back and I'll get rid of this. And I'm just going to, I'm going to put it down. I'm going to put it right above. I'm going to put it above here. I'm going to put it at the very bottom. So I'm going to add a new image. I'm going to add a new element. I'm going to make it a paragraph tag. I'll give it some top padding just to separate it a lot. And then I'll paste in that text. Now I can tell you right now, Facebook, I think, notices if you can't see text, like if it's over black or white text over white, because obviously that's a way to trick SEO, but this should work. Cool. All right, save that. Now let's look at this thing. So everything's good. All right, cool. I've refreshed this. Cool. Everything changed. Boom, 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 boom. Okay, great. Now, let's see. So if we look back at our thing here, we're working on our offer here. Okay, good. Let's get back to the bot. Okay. So we are in our offer bot, and this is the prompting for the bot. We started way back about 30 minutes ago. We did this so that I could make this dynamic so you could have different offers, and we're going to do that. So luckily we have these custom values here. And remember, we made our offer value. I'm going to grab the offer value custom variable. And this is new for CloseBot, is that I can now do this. I can literally paste custom values right into CloseBot because it's integrated with version 2. You couldn't do that before. I used to have to put a variable in the webhook in step 2. If you know CloseBot, you don't have to do that anymore. So this is huge, huge because they just talk to each other now. So we have our offer value, and then I'm going to need to get the title, the offer name. So I'm just going to grab the custom value, and I'm going to go to, it's 50% off offer for our complete house painting package. I'm going to put this here from the Picasso Paints website or a Facebook ad, just in case you use it, or even a database reactivation. Let's say that you're sending out the offer via email, but you don't have a website. You're just telling all your existing customers, hey, I'm doing a 50% off offer. This bot can respond to that offer. Okay, so the one bot can respond to different channels that are triggered in different ways. Okay. So again, we're gonna do a knowledge base for this using ChatGPT tomorrow. We're gonna tweak this. So have to do a prompting. So let's finish this up. So I'm gonna save this. The prompting's good. I just want to make sure the bot knows what it's doing. Everything's labeled well. It's all set up. Right. And then so now let's look at our objective. So the first objective, offer good. Find out if the 50% offer is good enough to book an appointment right now. I'm not mapping it to a field because I don't really care. If they say no, I'm going to deal with that later. I just want to get the happy path going, which means all yeses, right? Now, the morning after, it asked me find out if they want a morning or afternoon appointment. So it's storing it in our custom field. And the reason we're using a custom field is because we're using because you can only map CloseBot. CloseBot will only update fields. It doesn't update variables, but it does update fields. So our field that we're using is this morning afternoon field that I created. That is a drop-down menu, only single select, meaning it can only select morning or afternoon. You could use radio selects, whatever you want. So think of this as like an invisible form element that CloseBot's going to use to make something happen. Okay. So it's going to ask this question and then set this field to either morning or afternoon. I could have had a huge list in there. Could have been, I'm a pressure washer. I want to do window washing, garage washing, graffiti removal, stain, parking lot removal, right? So the bot in one objective will find out the answer and fill out that form and then go to the next objective. And that's what we're going to do. And the next objective is square foot. So I'm going to do it in the same lane. I'm going to say square foot, and you can call these anything you want. Find out the square, and this is simplistic, obviously, square footage to be painted. And I'm not going to store it to a variable right now, but I will in a second. Hold on. So let me just make that. I'm going to store it to a custom field, right? Because we want the bot to update the field. So I'm going to make a new field. I'll do a single line because it's going to be, they may say 1350 square foot or 1350. So I just do a multi-character text variable. So we'll put this in the Picasso group that I made just for purposes of organization. We'll call this square foot. And I like to name things exactly the same in Go High Level as they are in CloseBot, as they are everywhere else. Just for debugging. I'm just going to save it. It's blank. It's fine. So all I got to do is just quickly refresh CloseBot so that it knows it grabs a new field that you just created. And again, when you refresh CloseBot, make sure that you go back to your bot, or else you're going to be in your first default bot. Okay. So I'm going to go back to objectives. If I go to square foot, I'm now going to map that to this field that I just created, which will be down here, square foot. Okay. So it's going to store the square foot answer here. I'm going to save it. And then we need to do the estimate. So I'm going to move thanks to the end because that's here. Booking's going to go here. So this is going to be the prompt, the estimate. All right. So it's going to be fun. So estimate. And this is really simple. I'm not even going to do a knowledge base estimate. We're going to just build it in this prompt here. So I'm going to say, give them an estimate for painting their house, whatever. This is not real. Okay, so here I'm going to open up my extra prompting. I have 500 extra characters. I could use the knowledge base as well, but we're not doing that today. I'm just going to say to estimate the cost to paint at lead name, which is the variable that CloseBot knows is the first name of the lead. And you can use that or not. You see it everywhere. I'll just do it. To estimate the cost to paint at lead names at lead names house, multiply, and there's tons of ways to put equations into your prompting. And I'll show you multiple ways to do that tomorrow using ChatGPT to write your prompts for you that use math formulas and all that stuff. So this is simple. Hopefully my 4th grade math teacher will be happy with what I'm about to do. So to estimate the cost of paying at lead's name house, multiply the square footage, which it already asked, right? Multiply the square footage time by let's say easy. Let's make it easy. $10 a square foot, and then we're going to say, do not give the estimate till it is complete, because I've seen how the bot will give estimates like this, so I know that this prompt works well. Do not give the estimate until it is complete. After the estimate, say something like, quote, is that good? Is that okay? Okay, or would you like to proceed? And the reason I'm doing this is because this is where you're prompt engineering. Would you like to proceed? And I already know, because I've done it, is that when the bot gives back the estimate, unless you tell it to follow through with the question, it's just going to say, here's your estimate. And if they don't respond and say that looks great or thank you, the bot will never respond. It's not wrong. Unless the lead talks to the bot, the conversation is never going to go. So I always tell it in certain steps. You'll notice it just doesn't have a follow-up question because it's kind of doing so much, I think. So I like to tell it that. And that's pretty much all I need to say. And I'm going to close that real quick, and I'm going to save that. Let's make one more field real quick while we're here. Save it for the client. So it's good to save these in fields. We also obviously have a recap of the whole conversation on the contact, which I'll show you when we test tomorrow. But I like to store stuff in fields for the client and for my use. So we want to store the estimate. We'll do a multi-line estimate just in case it takes more than a sentence. And we'll call it estimate. And we'll save it to the Picasso group, and we'll save it. Okay, cool. So that's all that we should need here. Let me refresh this really quickly. I'll just go to the dashboard and go back to modify bot. That works as well. The dashboard is where you can see all the bot has done. This bot has done nothing. So there's nothing in the dashboard. Yep. Should be able to get a test in. Okay, so it goes to objectives. Let me just store this estimate bot in the estimate. There we go. Cool. Save. And then, since we're going to be booking, and I'm going to do it simply right now, but tomorrow we're going to do it much more advanced. Let's add a booking step in. So in priority 5, remember I said a certain fields that come with Go High Level, for instance, like by default, like name, address, phone. Calendar is one. It will set the prompting for you. CloseBot does this for you. Watch. I'm going to click calendar for booking. So I don't want a 50-minute appointment. This is book the house painting with at lead name. And tomorrow we'll have it say morning or afternoon, things like that, right? So in CloseBot, this is new as of last week. You can actually, it's pretty simple. It just brings up all your calendars here. I don't know why it isn't bringing up the calendar we want. Calendar, time zone. I just made the calendar. Where is it? I know that they're messing with this. This was released 2 days ago, and it might be slightly broken, to be honest with you. And I hate when that happens. But CloseBot, they do a lot of updates, and I made a complaint about this being not working great this afternoon. But the calendar ID, you'll populate a calendar here. We'll do this tomorrow. Okay, so I'm going to close that. I'll save it. Let's test this bot. I'm just going to test it right in CloseBot because it'll be fine. So I'm going to go to test my bot. We'll hook it up to Facebook too when we're done tomorrow or the next day, just because it's sexier. I'm just out of Facebook betas. I'm not allowed to make more Facebook betas. Okay, so I'm going to say hi. Here's the thing. The offer bot is not triggered by someone saying hi. The offer bot's actually triggered. We're going to make a workflow to trigger it from this. We have to make a workflow to capture this form and trigger the bot. We didn't do that yet. We will. But you can still test the bot because it's a bot. Right. So I said, hi, hello, hope you're having a great day. Because I think I said be friendly or something, the tone. Did you catch our 50% off offer? It's a pretty sweet deal. What do you think? Does it spark your interest in booking an appointment? I'll just say, sure does. We want to go down the happy path. I don't want to have to do a lot of testing for this challenge, but testing is a big portion of creating a bot. It's really time consuming, but it's supposed to act like a person, so it's important. Fantastic when it comes to scheduling. Are you more of an early bird catching the worm, or do you prefer to let the morning coffee kick in before starting your day? Now, I just wanted to ask morning or afternoon. And the reason it's doing that is because if you look at the offer bot, the tone under main is set to friendly, and so it's really friendly. And you don't really have to set it to friendly because it is already friendly because it's a bot. So we'll change that later. I'm not going to change it mid-test, okay? But, so I know that that's asking me for morning or afternoon, so I'm just going to say morning. Then it's going to ask me how many square feet. I'll just say 1,000 square feet times $10. That's a lot, obviously. $10,000. How many rooms or the square footage are we painting? 1,000 square feet. And now notice the bot asked how many rooms. I didn't ask it to ask that. So as you make your bot, it's just like prompting in ChatGPT. You kind of got to tweak until it's dialed in well, just like anything else. So the more simple your prompt is, the better. So it should give me some sort of estimate. Huh. Oh, yeah. So we didn't hook up the calendar, so that's why it's telling me, but it didn't give me the estimate either. Okay, no problem. And it's asking me what kind of colors I want. I don't care. So it will hallucinate, which is interesting. The technology is really wild. So why didn't it give me an estimate? Let's find out. See, it didn't even save. That's crazy. There was booking here, but now it's gone. Okay, estimate. Give them an estimate for paint a house. To estimate the cost to paint as lead name house, multiply the square footage by $10 a square foot. There we go. Okay. Price. Estimate. Okay. Should work. I've done this a bunch of times. That's why we test. Okay, go back to test your bot. Reset that bot. And it looks really slow right now, like we're waiting for the bot, but it used to be way slower and it'll be way faster. Like this is like the internet in the 90s when it would take forever to do everything, and it's just how it was. And then 15 years later, it's good. This will be 2 years, so it's going to be awesome. But this is early bird pioneer kind of stuff. All right. Yes. Yes, I am. Jeez. Afternoon. Okay, so hopefully it'll say $10,000. And then I'm going to become a painter. Because that would take how long? 1,000 square feet? Oh, that's a lot. That's 100 feet by 10. That's huge. No, it's not. It's not that big. Is it? I don't even know. So weird. I'm not asking it to book. I think they're doing something, to be honest with you, right now, because there was a problem with booking, and I know I just had to, like, it's going into booking. And there is no booking. No booking. So here's what you do. You go to the dashboard, and this is where you can see what was happening. So watch. Everything in green or gray. Green is good. Gray is not necessarily good. So there's errors. So let's see what they are. So anything that's a lead connector error, I saw this already today. Anything that's a lead connector error is go high level. It's not CloseBot. Disregard it. I don't care about the test ID here in this error, so disregard. But I do care about. So I said 1,000 square feet, and here orange means there was more of a problem. Result. So the field's updated because the answer is 1,000 square feet, right? Lead connector calendar. I'm not even looking for the calendar, so it's weird. So this has to do with the previous error. So this is definitely a go high level there. And if you use CloseBot, or I'm sorry, if you use go high level for any length of time, you know that their release cycle is phenomenal. You also know that every once in a while things get a little bit buggy. So I gotta close this day down, but we got pretty far actually. We have a full bot built out. Now we got to do is test it. We have all of our custom fields. We have our website all set up and ready to go. So let's just make some notes for tomorrow. Are there any questions from anyone? Just very quickly.
I have a question.
Yeah.
So in this like this bot troubleshooting is the first time I've seen this stuff. Like, you if you get an error like that, like if you're gonna try and solve it, do you like write in the prompt for like estimate like override or ignore?
No,
other errors,
there's
and that,
nothing you
like,
can do
works?
like no, there's nothing you can do like that at all. It's much more simple than that. You'll see.
Okay.
Yeah, it's pretty simple. CloseBot is not that. It doesn't. You can't talk to. It's just what you see here. You got objectives, some simple prompting, and that's all you need to do. And then yeah. But if you took the 30-day challenge, David, you'd see you'll see totally how it's set up. I'm going through this really fast because, like I said, this is an advanced class, but I am flying through this, so I am skipping over a lot of stuff that would make it more clear to you. Okay, so tomorrow, we need to fix calendar, estimate, and then we need to write knowledge base. What else? Test. I want to set up a Facebook page, set up Facebook bot. And then we need to do, test the fax bot because that's all set up, right? We just got to test that puppy or finish and test that. I'm going to move that to the top. So tomorrow we're going to finish and test the fax bot. This is a little live chat widget down there. We'll finish that up real quick tomorrow. We'll fix the calendars. We'll dial it all in and we'll keep going. Sometimes if you are making bots, you just have to keep going and waiting while things get fixed. It's just the nature of the beast. So there's no more questions. I'd like to say thank you very much. We are halfway done with the 4-day nighttime home services house painter challenge. Thank you very much for attending. I hope to see you tomorrow. Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Bye, David.
There you go.